Good morning, children. This is lecture 2 of chapter mole concept. In this lecture, we will solve some numerical based on percentage composition to find out the percentage of an element in a compound and to find out the empirical and molecular formula of a compound. Let us first see what is percentage composition. The percentage composition of a compound is the percentage by weight of each element present in it. Now the percentage of a particular element in a compound, how to calculate it? That is the total weight of the element in one molecule divided by gram molecular weight of the compound into 100. Example 1. Calculate the percentage composition of various elements in sodium carbonate. Now this type of numericals you have already done in standard 9. So this is just a revision, you all know about it. Percentage composition of various elements in Na2CO3. That means you have to find out the molecular mass of Na2CO3. That by knowing the atomic mass I have got this mass as 106. Now 106 gram of Na2CO3 contains 46 gram of sodium because I am having 2 sodium atoms, so it is 46. So find out in 100 gram of Na2CO3 how much sodium is present. It is coming 46 into 100 by 106, so it is coming 43.4 gram of sodium. Similarly, find out for carbon. 12 gram of carbon is present in 106 gram of Na2CO3. So now find out for 100 gram of Na2CO3, it contains how much gram of carbon. It is coming 11.3. And then similarly you find out 106 gram of Na2CO3 contains 48 gram of oxygen. See here 16 into 3, it is 48 gram. So for oxygen also find out how much is present in 100 gram of Na2CO3. So I am getting 45.3 gram of oxygen. So that means in Na2CO3 sodium is 43.4%. Carbon is 11.3% and oxygen is 45.3%. Okay. Now the second one, find the percentage mass of water. Only you have to find out the water of crystallization in washing soda crystal. The formula is Na2CO3.10H2O. Find out the molecular mass of Na2CO3.10H2O. Now 100 to 186 you are getting. So 286 gram of washing soda contains 100, this is your water, 180 gram of water. That is 10H2O. 10 into 2 plus 16. So it is 180 gram of water of crystallization. Now find out for 100. 100 gram of washing soda contains 62.9 gram of H2O. So my percentage of H2O in Na2CO3 is 62.9%. Am I clear? Now come for the third example. A given sample has 30% of ethyl alcohol. This is ethyl. Ethyl alcohol. Ethyl alcohol by mass. The rest being water. That means you are having a sample in which 30% is C2H5OH. This is the formula of ethyl alcohol that you should know. And rest 70% is water. So you have to find out, determine the percentage of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in the given sample. That means you have to find out for carbon, hydrogen and oxygen separately for C2H5OH, which is containing 30 parts, and you have to find out for carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in H2O which containing 70 parts, but in water you will not get carbon, you will get only hydrogen and oxygen. So let us see what is being done here. First of all, you find out the molecular mass of C2H5OH, that is ethyl alcohol, that is coming to 46. Now find out the percentage of carbon present in 30 gram of ethyl alcohol, 30 parts of ethyl alcohol rather you can say, because gram is not said here. Whether it is gram or part, it is all the same because gram is not given here. So we will call it as part. So first what you will do, 46 parts of ethyl alcohol containing 24 parts of carbon. So 46 parts of ethyl alcohol containing 24 parts of carbon. I'm writing in short. So for unitary method, for 30 parts, because 30% is ethyl alcohol, 30 parts of ethyl alcohol containing 24 into 30 by 46. This will give you the how much parts of carbon is present, that we are getting. See here, 24 into 30 by 46, we are getting 15.65. For similarly for hydrogen, we are getting 6 by 46 into 30 because hydrogen is only 6 here, so it is 3.91. And for oxygen, it is 16 by 46 into 30, that is 10.43. Similarly, you have to find out for 70% of water, that means 70 parts. Now, water is, you all know that the molecular mass of water is 18. So find out for hydrogen, that is in water H2O, that means 2 hydrogen. 2 by 18 into 70 because 70 gram water is there, 70 parts of water is there. So 2 by 18 into 70. So that is coming to 7.78. Okay. Then oxygen you find out similarly. Oxygen is 16, you know here. So 16 into 70 by 18. So it is 62.22 because 70 parts of water is there. So 18 parts containing 2 parts of hydrogen. So 70 parts containing how much? Similarly for oxygen also you are getting 62.22. Now the total percentage of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen you have to find out. So percentage of carbon only we are getting in ethyl alcohol. That is we are getting 15.65. So it is total 15.65%. Now percentage of hydrogen here also, from ethyl alcohol also I am getting something where it is here. For ethyl alcohol it is 3.91 and for water it is 7.78. So 3.91 plus 7.78 is total 11.69. Now percentage of oxygen from ethyl alcohol I am getting 10.43 and from water I am getting 62.22. So add this to 10.43 plus 62.22, total is 72.65. Have you understood? Now, what is the empirical formula of a compound? The empirical formula of a compound is the simplest formula which gives the simplest ratio in whole numbers of atoms of different element present in one molecule of the compound. Just I am giving you an example, then it will be clear to you. The empirical formula of hydrogen peroxide is HO. Why? Because it is hydrogen peroxide formula, molecular formula is H2O2. Now it is said that empirical formula of a compound is the simplest formula which gives the simplest ratio in whole numbers of atoms of different element present in one molecule of compound. So if I'll find the simplest ratio of it, it will 2 and 2 will get cancelled. I am getting HO. Okay, the simplest ratio is 1:1 for this one. So what is written? It indicates the simplest ratio 1:1 between hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, between atoms of different element present, that is of hydrogen and oxygen atom in its molecule, while the actual formula is H2O2. I have already told you. Similarly, empirical formula of glucose, it is C6. I am just showing it here. C6H12O6. Now find out the simplest ratio. You can divide everything by 6. It is coming CH2O. This is the simplest formula that indicates the ratio of this atom carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Carbon is to hydrogen is to oxygen. In the simplest ratio, it is giving 1:2:1. So this is your empirical formula. This is CH2O is the empirical formula of glucose. Thus, for hydrogen peroxide H2O2, the empirical formula is HO, and its empirical formula is HO, means its empirical formula mass is 1 plus 16, that is 17. Am I clear? Determination of empirical formula. The empirical formula can be calculated from the percentage composition of the compound as follows. There are some rules for finding out the empirical formula. The percentage weight of oxygen, carbon or hydrogen, necessary elements in every organic compounds. When you will do the numericals, you will find that many numericals are given for organic compound. And in an organic compound, oxygen, carbon and hydrogen are present. So, the percentage weight of oxygen, carbon or hydrogen is sometimes not given. Hence, it is first determined by subtracting the sum of other element percentage from 100. The second point, the percentage weight of each element is divided by its atomic weight. This gives the ratio of the number of atoms in a molecule of the compound. When you will do the numericals, all these points will be clear to you. Now point number 3, if the molecule contains water of crystallization, its percentage weight is divided by the molecular weight of water, that is 18. The molecular weight of water is 18. This gives the ratio of number of water molecules in one molecule of the compound. Number 4. To get a whole number ratio of atoms of different elements and water molecules, the number obtained in step 2 and 3 are divided by the smallest number. And the last point, the empirical formula is now derived by writing the symbols of the various elements side by side with the number of atoms of each one as the subscript to the lower right of its symbol. All these points, it will be clear to you when we will do the numericals. So let us see what is the numerical, how to complete, how to solve the numericals. Let us start with the numericals. The first one, the molecular formula of an organic acid is CH3COOH. What is its empirical formula? Now, the molecular formula is given CH3COOH. Now, just see how many carbon, how many hydrogen and how many oxygen are there all together. So this is one carbon and this is one carbon, so it is C2. Then 3 and 1, so hydrogen is 4 and oxygen 2. Now find out the simplest ratio. So it can be reduced by 2, so I'm getting CH2O. So the ratio between carbon, hydrogen and oxygen is 1:2:1. So my empirical formula is CH2O. Okay, this is my answer, CH2O. Next, find the empirical formula of compounds with the following percentage composition. Zinc is given 47.8, chlorine is given 52.2. This is number A. Now, we have to make a table like this. In this table, the first one will be element. The second one will be percentage composition. The third one will be atomic mass of that particular element. And then the atomic ratio and then the simplest ratio. All these things are given in the rule. So first I have written zinc is the element, chlorine is the element. Okay. Now the percentage of zinc is given 47.8. So I have written percentage composition for zinc is 47.8 and chlorine is 52.2. So I have written 52.2. Now the atomic mass of zinc is 65 and atomic mass of chlorine is 35.5. Now just divide the percentage composition by atomic mass. This will give you atomic ratio. So after dividing 47.8 by 65, I am getting 0.73 and 52.2 by 35.5 is giving 1.46. Now out of this two, 0.73 and 1.46, 0.73 is the smallest one. So what I can do, I have to divide both the numbers by 0.73. So after dividing, I am getting 1 and this one is giving you 2. Now this is number 1 is for zinc and 2 for chlorine. So I am getting my formula is Zn1 and Cl2. So my formula is the empirical formula of the compound is ZnCl2. Am I clear? The B part of the numerical, magnesium, sulfur, oxygen and H2O, all the percentages are given. Now H2O is a compound, so in the table you have to write the first one, elements or compounds, percentage composition, atomic or molecular mass because water molecule is present here, then ratio of atoms or molecules and then simplest ratio. Then write down all the elements and then write down the percentage composition in this table and then write down the atomic or molecular mass. As you know that the atomic mass of magnesium is 24, sulfur is 32, oxygen is 16 and water is 18. Then find out the ratio of atoms or molecules by dividing the percentage composition with atomic or molecular mass. After dividing, I am getting for magnesium 0.406, sulfur is also 0.406, oxygen is 1.625 and H2 is 2.84. Now this number 0.406 is the smallest one. So you have to divide all these numbers by 0.406. After division, I am getting magnesium 1, sulfur 1, oxygen 4 and H2O 7. So what is my empirical formula? I can write magnesium as 1, sulfur as 1, oxygen is 4 and we are having 7 water molecule present. So it will be 7 molecules of water, that is water of crystallization. So what is my empirical formula? I am getting MgSO4.7H2O. This is my answer. Now next question. An organic compound has oxygen 26.24% and hydrogen 4.92%. Find its empirical formula. Now here you are seeing that it is an organic compound. Now you know that organic compound is containing carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So here in this question it is only the percentage of oxygen and hydrogen given. The percentage of carbon is not given. So you have to find out first the percentage of carbon present. So how to find out? This is in the rule I already told you this. How to find out the percentage of carbon? We will get from carbon is equals to 100 minus percentage of hydrogen plus percentage of oxygen. Okay, so just see here 100 minus 26.24 plus 4.92, so I am getting 68.84. And then you have to do it as usual. Make a table, write down the elements and the percentage composition, then the atomic mass and then the atomic ratio by dividing the percentage composition with atomic mass. So I am getting some numbers, that is 5.74, 4.92 and 1.64. Now out of this number 1.64 is the smallest one, so I have to divide all the numbers by 1.64. After dividing I am getting 3.5 for carbon, for hydrogen it is 3 and for oxygen it is 1. So actually what I am getting, the ratio of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, I am getting 3.5 is to 3 is to 1. Now you have to make a whole number ratio. So just multiply all the numbers, all the ratios with 2. So I'm getting 7 is to 6 is to 2. So my empirical formula will be C7H6O2. This is my answer. This is my answer. Determination of molecular formula. The molecular formula of a compound denotes the actual number of atoms of different elements present in one molecule of compound. Let us take an example. The molecular formula blue vitriol is CuSO4.5H2O. So what are the information that I can get from this CuSO4.5H2O? It is giving you the information. One atom of copper is present, one atom of sulfur is present, and it contains 4 atoms of oxygen because CuSO4, and it is having 5 molecules of water of crystallization. Okay, now step to find the molecular formula of a compound. How to find out the molecular formula of a compound? Calculate the empirical weight of the compound from its empirical formula. That means you have to first find out the empirical formula and then you have to find out the empirical weight of the compound. Now then divide its molecular weight by empirical weight. This will give you a number, which number is denoted as N. Now multiply the empirical formula by this number to get molecular formula. Now, so what I am getting, molecular formula is equal to empirical formula into N. That I told you here, just now I told you, where N is equals to molecular weight by empirical formula weight. Okay, suppose for example, empirical formula of hydrogen peroxide is HO. Okay, so its empirical formula weight, now I am calculating the weight. The empirical formula weight is 1 plus 16, so it is 17. But what is my molecular weight of this H2O2? Molecular weight of H2O2 is 34. Okay, this is a known example. The molecular formula of hydrogen peroxide is H2O2, so its molecular weight is 34. So how to calculate N? Now N is equals to molecular weight, that is 34, by empirical formula weight. See from here, so it is 17. So N I am getting 2. Now how to find out the molecular formula? Suppose I don't know it, then molecular formula is equals to empirical formula into 2 or into N. First you write down into N. So this empirical formula is HO into N I am getting 2. So this total I am getting H2O2. So this is my molecular formula. Calculate the empirical formula of a compound whose molecular formula is C8H6O4 and the empirical formula weight is 83. That means empirical formula weight is given and molecular formula is given. So molecular formula C8H6O4, first of all you have to find out molecular weight. After finding out the molecular weight, it is coming to 166. Now N is equals to molecular weight by empirical formula weight. So molecular weight is 166 and empirical formula weight is given to us, that is 83. So N I am getting 2. After getting N, I have to find out empirical formula. So empirical formula is equals to molecular formula divided by 2. So this is C8H6O4. Now you have to divide it by 2. So I am getting C4H3 and O2. This is my empirical formula. This is my empirical formula. Am I clear to you? Now see, in this question, a compound is found to possess carbon 40%, hydrogen 6.7% and oxygen 53.3%. Along with that, its molecular mass is also given 60. So find out the molecular formula of the compound. As the percentage of the elements given, that is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, we can find out the empirical formula from this. Let us first find out the empirical formula. So, whatever we have done for finding out the empirical formula, the same thing we'll do here. That is elements, percentage composition, atomic mass, find out the atomic ratio by dividing these two, and then simplest ratio by dividing with the smallest number, what we have got here. So we are getting carbon is to hydrogen is to oxygen is in the ratio 1:2:1. That means my empirical formula that I am getting CH2O. Now we know that molecular mass is equals to N into empirical formula mass. So molecular mass is given 60. So I can write here 60 is equals to N into empirical formula mass. That means I have to find out the mass for this one. This is coming to 12 plus 2 plus 16. So this is coming 30. So it will be 30. Now from there, N is equals to 60 by 30. So it is 2. If I am getting N value, then N has to be multiplied with the empirical formula. That means molecular formula. They are asking you to find out the molecular formula. Molecular formula is equals to N into empirical formula. So N is 2 into empirical formula is CH2O. Now by multiplying this, I am getting C2H4O2. This is my molecular formula. See here. Okay, am I clear to you? Very easy sum. But you have to copy all the sums in your notebook and you try to do the sums on your own. Otherwise, you will not be able to do it. You have to practice the numericals. Because in this chapter, only numericals are there and numericals will only come in the exam. Now this question, find the empirical and molecular formula of an organic compound from the data given below. The percentage of carbon, hydrogen and nitrogen are given here and the vapor density is given 39.5. You have to find out empirical and molecular formula of this compound. Now from the data given, that is the percentage of carbon, hydrogen and nitrogen, you can find out the empirical formula as usual. So you are getting carbon as 5, hydrogen as 5 and nitrogen as 1. So from there the empirical formula you are getting C5H5N. Now after getting empirical formula, you know that molecular weight is equals to N into empirical formula weight. This formula you know. Now you don't know about the molecular weight because molecular weight is not given here. The previous question the molecular weight was given, but here vapor density is given. Now you know that molecular weight is equals to 2 into vapor density. So in place of molecular weight, we are writing 2 into vapor density is equals to N into empirical formula is C5H5N. Now you have to find out the empirical formula weight. Now in place of vapor density, it is 2 into 39.5. N I don't know, and the empirical formula weight C5 is 60. H5 is 5 and nitrogen is 14. So this is coming 79 and left hand side also 79. So I am getting N is equals to 1. Now if N is equals to 1, you know that molecular formula is equals to N into empirical formula. Now my empirical formula I have got C5H5N. And the value of N is 1. So my molecular formula is also coming as C5H5N. So this is my empirical formula. This is my molecular formula. Both are same. Now in this question, 0.5 gram of an organic compound contains 0.062 gram of hydrogen and 0.25 gram of oxygen. In the vapor state, this compound weighs 32 times as heavy as the same volume of hydrogen. Determine the molecular formula. Now in this question, it is given the amount of the mass of hydrogen and oxygen in gram and the total mass of the organic compound is given, that is 0.5 gram of organic compound. Now you know that organic compound containing carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, and in this hydrogen and oxygen the masses are given, but carbon you have to find out. How to find out the mass of carbon? That has to be subtracted from 0.5 gram because the total amount of the organic compound is given 0.5 gram. So mass of the carbon is coming out 0.5 minus 0.25 plus 0.062. So I am getting 0.188. Now make the table as usual, and from the table you are getting carbon is 1, hydrogen is 4 and oxygen is 1. Okay, so my empirical formula is coming CH4O. Now as this is given in the vapor state, this compound weighs 32 times as heavy as the same volume of hydrogen. From the relative vapor density formula, this is nothing but the vapor density. So molecular mass is equal to 2 into vapor density, that is 64. Now from there find out the value of N, molecular mass by empirical formula mass. So molecular mass is equals to 64, we are getting molecular mass. Now empirical formula mass, from here I will find out CH4O, that is 12 plus 4 plus 16. We are getting it 32. We are getting it as 32. So 64 by 32, so I am getting 2. So my N I am getting 2. So my molecular formula is equals to 2 into CH4O. So it is coming to C2H8O2. This is my molecular formula. Am I clear? 3.5 gram of nitrogen combines with 2 gram of oxygen to form an oxide of nitrogen. What is the empirical formula of this oxide? Now I am having nitrogen, that is 3.5 gram, and oxygen I am having 2 gram. That means total mass of this oxide, which is forming by nitrogen and oxygen, is 3.5 plus 2, that is 5.5 gram. So the percentage of nitrogen is 3.5 divided by total, that is 5.5 into 100. which is coming to 700 by 11, and percentage of oxygen will be, this is 2 gram, 2 by total 5.5 into 100, so I'm getting 400 by 11. Now make the table as usual and find out the simplest ratio. The number of atoms you are getting 50 by 11 and oxygen 25 by 11. As 25 by 11 is the smaller one, so I have to divide both by 25 by 11. By dividing, I am getting the value of nitrogen as 2 and the value of oxygen as 1. So my empirical formula is N2O. Is it okay? On heating copper sulfate crystal CuSO4.xH2O 10 gram, anhydrous sulfate 6.4 gram was left. That means I am having copper sulfate, hydrated copper sulfate CuSO4.xH2O. The weight of this one is 10 gram. Now this, on heating, I am getting anhydrous copper sulfate plus XH2O. This anhydrous copper sulfate is 6.4 gram left. Now you have to write the formula of the crystalline sulfate. That means you have to find out the value of X. That means number of water molecule is present here. Make the table as usual. So it is copper sulfate, anhydrous copper sulfate and the water molecule. So the mass of the copper sulfate is 6.4 gram and mass of H2O. How to find out? Because I am having hydrated copper sulfate, that is 10 gram, and anhydrous copper sulfate is 6.4 gram. So if I am subtracting this two, I am getting the value of water, that is 3.6 gram. That is the mass of the water. Now I have written 3.6 gram. Now find out the molar mass by adding the atomic mass of CuSO4 altogether. I am getting 159.5 gram and the molar mass of water is 18 gram. Then now divide and find out the number of moles. It is coming 0.04 and it is coming 0.2. Now find out the simplest ratio. It is coming 1 and this is coming 5. So that means 5 molecules of water are present. So the formula is CuSO4.5H2O. Am I clear? Next one, 0.29 gram of hydrocarbon, hydrogen and carbon with vapor density 29 when burned completely in oxygen. It is burning completely in oxygen. It is producing 448 milliliter of carbon dioxide at STP. From the given information, calculate mass of the carbon dioxide form, mass of the element carbon in carbon dioxide, mass of hydrogen in hydrocarbon, empirical formula of hydrocarbon and molecular formula of hydrocarbon. Okay, these two are coming afterwards. Let me first do the first three. So number 1 mole of carbon dioxide is 44 gram. Just find out the molecular formula, molecular mass. Now 22400 milliliter of CO2 at STP weighs 44 gram, that you all know. Now I'm having 448 milliliter. So 448 milliliter carbon dioxide at STP weighs how much? That is 44 divided by 22400 into 448, so 0.88 gram. This is the answer of the first question. Now the second one is mass of the element carbon in carbon dioxide. So that means carbon in carbon dioxide, that means CO2. In CO2, 12 gram carbon is present. So 44 gram of CO2 contains 12 gram. Now I am having 0.88 gram. So 0.88 gram of CO2 contains 12 by 44 into 0.88. So I am getting 0.24 gram. This is the answer of the second one. Third one, mass of hydrogen in hydrocarbon. Now weight of hydrogen is equals to weight of hydrocarbon minus weight of carbon. Then we are getting hydrogen because I told you that hydrocarbon is only hydrogen and carbon. So the weight of hydrocarbon is given 0.29 gram. So 0.29 minus I am getting this much amount of carbon is present, so 0.24. If you will subtract this two, I am getting 0.05. This much amount of hydrogen is present. That is the number 3. Now for number 4, just do it with the help of the table. Carbon I am getting 0.24, hydrogen I am getting 0.05. That I have already got from answer 2 and answer 3. Now atomic mass 12 and 1, from there I am getting the ratio, that is 2:5. Now if I am getting 2:5, that means empirical formula C2H5. Yes, C2H5. So the fourth question also, the answer also I got. Now the fourth answer, molecular formula of hydrocarbon. So the vapor density is given, molecular weight is equal to 2 into vapor density 58. Now 58 molecular weight is equal to N into molecular empirical formula weight. Find out the empirical formula weight, then find out N, it is 2. So the molecular formula is C4H10. Calculations based on chemical equations. Chemical equations. A chemical equation is a balanced account of a chemical transaction. It is not merely a qualitative statement, but it also gives the quantitative information of a chemical reaction. Quantitative information, how much? Okay. Chemical equation gives information about, what are the information that we are getting from chemical equation? Moles and masses of various reactants and products. That this is the one information that we are getting. And another information, volume of gaseous reactant and product measured at STP. What volume of the gaseous reactants and the products are forming at STP? That means it is giving a quantitative measurement. How much? What is the number? All these things are coming under quantitative information. Information conveyed by chemical equation. Consider this equation. Suppose I am having a equation 2KClO3 in presence of MnO2 as a catalyst and heat, we are getting 2KCl plus 3O2. 2KCl is solid and 3O2 is gas. The molecular proportion of substance. This is the first information that we are getting. What here? 2 molecules of solid potassium chlorate on heating in presence of manganese dioxide gives 2 molecules of solid potassium chloride KCl and 3 molecules of oxygen gas. That information, the reaction is given. The second information, the relative masses of the substance. If I am finding out the molecular mass of KClO3 together, the molecular mass into 2, that means it is coming 2 into 122.5 is equal to 245 gram of potassium chlorate is giving, on heating it is giving 149 gram of KCl and 96 gram of oxygen. Okay, this is the total information that we are getting from this equation. How much is the quantitative measurement. Third, the volume of the gaseous substance. 3 molecules of O2 we are getting. So that means it is, we are getting 3 into 22.4 liters. The volume of the gaseous substance. So 67.2 liters of oxygen at STP is evolved when 245 gram of potassium chlorate is heated. In solving the problem, proceed as follows. First, write the balanced equation for reaction. Now this is very important. Without balancing the equation, if you do the numericals, your numericals will be wrong. You will not get the exact mass. Then write down the molecular weight of each substance below its formula. Third, the same unit of weight and the volume should be used throughout. One is given in liter, another is given in centimeter cube. It is not. We have to do it in one unit. You have to bring all the units. It should be same throughout. Write down, one is in gram, another is in kg. It cannot be. Next, number 4, write down the product of 22.4 liters and the number of molecules below each gaseous substance. Now let us see the numericals, how we have to solve the numerical based on chemical equations. Example 1. A solution of common salt when added to silver nitrate solution yields a precipitate of silver chloride, that is 0.28 gram. Find the mass of sodium chloride in the solution, that means how much sodium chloride is used, and also the mass of the sodium nitrate formed. So the first thing that you have to write the equation, and after that you have to balance it. That means you have to write a balanced chemical equation. Silver nitrate and sodium chloride, these two things are reacting. So NaCl plus AgNO3 is giving you AgCl plus NaNO3. And it is a balanced equation. After that you write the molecular mass of each and every compound. You can write AgNO3 also, no problem. Here AgNO3 is not required, that is why it is not written here. Now it is given the precipitate, it's yielding a precipitate of sodium chloride which is 0.28 gram. This is the only clue is given. So that means I have to frame my sentence in a way that I can use this silver chloride, the known weight. So from this equation I can write, and you have to find out the mass of NaCl is used. So I can frame the sentence in this way. 143 gram of AgCl is formed from 58.5 gram of NaCl. So I am having 0.28 gram of AgCl I am getting. So 0.28 gram of AgCl is formed from 58.5 into 0.28 divided by 143.5. This is the unitary method, and after solving I am getting 0.114 gram of NaCl. Okay, that much NaCl is used. Now my next question is also the mass of the sodium nitrate formed. So now I can use this NaCl information also. So 58.5 gram of NaCl is producing 85 gram of NaNO3. So I am having now 0.114 gram of NaCl. So 0.114 gram NaCl is producing this much amount of 0.165 gram of NaNO3. So this is just unitary method. You have to think that which information that we have to use, and then accordingly you solve the numericals. Just a unitary method. Number 2. Find the mass of lead formed by the reduction of 342.5 gram of red lead, that is Pb3O4, in a current of hydrogen. That means that Pb3O4 is reacting with hydrogen, and after reaction it is giving you lead, because the question is that find the mass of lead, and also find the volume of the hydrogen used up at STP. So the equation is this one, Pb3O4 plus 4H2 is giving you 3Pb plus 4H2O. First of all you will write the equation and then you have to balance it. Okay. After balancing the equation, find out the molecular weight. So my equation, let me write it here, Pb3O4 plus, I am writing the balance equation, 4H2, it is giving you 3Pb plus 4H2. Then write down the molecular mass. So this is coming 685, okay, and this is coming, this is 4 into 22.4 liters because this is a gas. So it is coming 89.6 decimeter cube, okay, or liter. Now this one is coming, Pb is coming 621. All the atomic mass will be given to you, don't worry. Okay. Now from here I have to find out the mass of lead formed, and how much red lead I am using, 342.5 gram. This is the information given. So I can use from here, I can use this 685 gram of lead oxide, that is red lead, Pb3O4, is giving yields 621 gram of lead. So 342 gram of red lead, that is Pb3O4, is yielding how much lead? That is 310.5 unitary method. Now 685 gram of red lead uses 89.6 decimeter cube of hydrogen at NTP or STP, both you can write anyone. So 342.5 gram of red lead is using how much hydrogen? So it is 896 into 342.5 divided by 685. So it is we are getting 44.8 decimeter cube of hydrogen. The sums are easy, but you have to do it on your own in your notebook. Please copy the sums in your notebook and try to do it on your own. Then only you can understand. Now, if 16.4 gram of calcium nitrate is heated, calculate the volume of nitrogen dioxide obtained at STP and the mass of calcium oxide obtained. That means you have understood that calcium nitrate CaNO3 whole 2 I am heating. If I am heating it, in the question it is given the volume of nitrogen dioxide. That means it will give you nitrogen dioxide NO2. Then it will the mass of calcium oxide. So CaO is also forming, and as nitrate I am heating, so naturally oxygen will liberate. Now first you have to write the equation. Second you have to balance it. Now see that this equation whether it is balanced or not. So it is not balanced. First of all you balance it. 2 CaNO3 whole 2 is giving you 4 NO2 plus 2 CaO. After writing this, you have to write the molecular mass of each and every one. And which one is the gas? You can write down 22.4 liters. Now, if we'll calculate, it is coming 328. Now, this is your 4 moles. That means 4 into 22.4 liters because it is a gas. Okay, then find out for CaO. This is also 2 CaO. It is coming 112. Now you have to find out nitrogen dioxide obtained. So 328 gram of calcium nitrate is liberating 4 into 22.4 liters of NO2. See here. Now you are having 16.4 gram of calcium nitrate. So 16.4 gram of calcium nitrate liberates. Unitary method 4 into 22.4 divided by 328 into 16.4. So I am getting 4.48 liter of NO2. Next question is the mass of calcium oxide obtained. So 328, again the 328 gram of calcium nitrate is giving 128 gram of CaO. See here. Now you are having 16.4. So 16.4 gram of calcium nitrate gives 112 into 16.4 by 328. So I am getting 5.6 gram of CaO. Very easy sum. Just unitary method. You have to write the equation and you have to balance it, find the molecular mass. Next, example 4. On heating 12.4 gram of copper 2 carbonate in a crucible, only 7 gram of copper 2 oxide was obtained. Now what I am hitting? Copper carbonate, CuCO3, copper carbonate. If I am heating it in a crucible, I am getting that only 7 gram of copper 2 oxide, that means CuO. And you know that it is a carbonate, so naturally carbon dioxide gas will liberate, will vaporize. That is why we are not getting it. Okay. What was the percentage purity in copper carbonate? You have to find out percentage purity. Now, you have to find out the molecular mass of copper carbonate. It is coming 124. And copper oxide, it is coming 80. Now, 124 gram of copper carbonate produce 80 gram of copper oxide. 124 is giving you 80 gram. Therefore, I am having 12.5 gram of copper 2 carbonate. So 12.4 gram of copper carbonate producing 8 gram of copper oxide. Thus expected yield is 8 gram, but actually I am getting 7 gram of copper 2 oxide. So my percentage yield is 7 by 8 into 100. Because if I am calculating from this, I should get 8 gram of copper 2 oxide. But I am getting 7 gram. It is given in the question. So my percentage purity is 7 by 8 into 100. So 87.5% is the percentage purity. I hope you have understood. Now this is the end of the chapter. Practice all the numericals on your own in your notebook.